This is James Lupton for Round 8 Boxing. Delighted to join with the Rennie brothers. Sam, Matthew, how you doing?
I'm good, mate. I'm good. Thank you. Thanks for having us on.
Yeah, I'm all good, mate. Sorry for being a bit late. I've totally forgot we were meant to do it at half two, but I mean, yeah, that's the main thing.
That's it. No, don't you worry, mate. All good. Don't you worry about that. Let's go back to the beginning a little bit when you both started boxing, growing up together, training alongside each other. Talk to me about that. We'll start with Matt.
Um, for me, it was a follow-on from my older brother. There's another one, believe it or not. There's three Rennies. Ed was the older one. He walked into the boxing gym at first, and he was an amateur boxer. And I just followed his footsteps. That's how it started for me, and one thing led to another, and I fell in love with it quite early. Um, and just yeah, just went on and on and on, and till I'm at this point now. Do you know what I mean?
Was it always a case, Sam, for you to essentially do what your big brothers are doing, following their footsteps, essentially just copying them, essentially, and then again, like Matt said,
Yeah,
love of it?
exactly what you said. Yeah, you sort of have to, don't you? Like, you can't be the only brother that didn't, you know. And I was never good at footy or any other sports really as well, so I had no choice. If I wanted to do a sport, it was boxing. And I was in it. I had my first fight at 10, and then I was sort of in and out as I was growing up through my early teenage years. But then yeah, once I matured, I just stuck with it, and I never looked back since.
I'm sure you two must have a few sparring sessions together, growing up as kids, causing a bit of trouble, causing riots. Talking about that, growing up, just training and sparring together.
Well, for me, I mean, it didn't even happen in the gym. It was happening in the living room most of the time. My dad would be the ref and the judge, and me, Ed, and Sam would put gloves on. It doesn't matter what ounce they were. Someone could have a 14 ounce on one hand and an 8 ounce on the other hand. And yeah, and we went for it every time as well. You wouldn't think we were brothers, you'd think we were enemies. But I think that was more at a younger age, and as we grew up, um, we kept it all in the gym and that, and it was good because it was like, I wouldn't say competition, but we learned off each other. We'd always pass advice to each other. We were, it's like it's family in at the end of the day. So I would be more nervous for my brothers fighting than I would be. Do you know what I mean? I remember being an amateur boxer, and Sam would be like on early, and I'd be on towards the end, and I would feel exhausted because I was so nervous for Sam, and I wouldn't even be thinking about my fight, and then Sam would go on and do his fight, and then I would start thinking about my fight. But we all helped each other, we all gave each other advice, and we all bounced off one another. And I think we've all got similar styles in the way. Everyone's got their own little twist to it, but we
I
all.
hit harder.
I mean, he's only got one knockout extra to prove that, but
For you, Sam, obviously, like Matt just said there, wasn't necessarily competitive, but you was all learning off each other, he's giving each other advice. What was the best or biggest bit of advice that you got, Sam, from Matt?
To be honest, yeah, I'm lucky I'm being the youngest, so I would get the most advice from either one of them, and I would learn from the mistakes they both made, and yeah, just seeing that, like Matty always made it clear to me to just be happy outside of boxing as well, because that comes into play in boxing, and always just enjoying the sport and making sure the one thing that he said to me as a young lad that always stuck to me to now is a happy boxer is a dangerous boxer, and so I always just try and make sure that no matter what's going on in or out of boxing, you stay happy, stay positive, and I do believe in it as well. So that's probably the biggest bit of advice that stuck with me. And then as for the oldest brother, jab is key. He's got a bit more of an old head on him. He doesn't like the flashy stuff. And he just always used to say, when it comes down to boxing, just make sure you master the basics. And yeah, and truthfully, that's how I go about it. Like even now, obviously, I'm fresh starting a new camp for my next fight, and all I'm doing at the minute is going back to basics and enjoying it. And I think I've took on the advice that they give me. I try and take on the advice they give me as much as I can. But yeah, I'm lucky being the youngest. Obviously, I can look up to them too.
For you, Matt, obviously, with Sam being the youngest, do you feel any pressure to be that role model and, make sure that Sam did the right things?
do you know what? To be honest, no. I think Sam's is at the end of the day, he's his own man. and he's gonna do his things his own way. You can't. I mean, like Sam said there, you're always gonna get pointers, whether it's off me or off someone else. Everyone's gonna give you the advice, and not everything always suits you too. Do you know what I mean? Everything's like, if you can't take all of it, try and take bits of it. Do you know what I mean? And mix them all together. But as we already know, Sam's doing his own thing. He's in Australia. He's doing well. I'll always support him. I'm always trying to pass anything I can on to him. But at the end of the day, it's down to him to decide what he's gonna do. He's gonna do his own style, and it's okay. Like saying, oh, you should do this and do this and do this. But at the end of the day, it's him in the ring, and he needs to do what's comfortable to him. Whether that's like the way he boxes, the way he carries himself. Do you know what I mean? Everything's down to that individual and what fits him better than other things.
Do you feel that even still now to this day, from when you was younger to now, that you still all push each other on, you still encourage each other, motivate each other, etc.?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, Sam's obviously went now. He's won the title, won the WBC Australasia silver title, and that now for me, I've not won a title yet, so that kicks me. I'm like, well, not in a way of I want to do better than him because we both want to do great for each other. We both want to do well, but I've got that drive now where my goal now for the end to the end of the year is I need to get a title as well, and I think Sam being the first professional boxer from the land to win the title, if we could be, if I can get a title before the year, we could potentially have two brothers from the Isle of Man with two titles, or maybe three if Sam picks another one. And we don't know how. We can't predict the future, but I think it's like healthy competition that we're pushing each other in a good positive way. As I said, with brothers, it's not like there's not that there is anyway, but there's no like jealousy or envy there. It's like trying to like Sam might have a little better banter. He'll go, "Oh, I'm the bigger puncher," but we all know he's only 60 kilos and can't punch himself on a wet paper bag. But it's just that bit of banter, that bit of extra push. And yeah, we're both doing well at the minute, so it's just keeping that momentum and seeing where the future takes us.
Yeah, and even on my part, like when I find out I've got a fight, and same as Matty, the first person we tell is the brothers. The three of us. We all tell each other, and we're straight on the phones. Studying and looking at what advice we can give to each other, and just support. Yeah, like I say, even when you're at a point in your career where you have more than one option, we ask each other. At the end of the day, it's up to you. Like touching on what Matty was saying earlier, you're your own man. You have to make the decision, but having it, your brother's input, you can always wonder if a promoter or a coach has your best interest at heart, but your brother and your dad has your best interest at heart, so you trust them.
No, definitely. Obviously, Matty mentioned there about the title you won, Sam. Last time I spoke just before the fight, and
Yeah.
there's a lot riding on that fight. Obviously, you're in Australia, and if you didn't win that title, you may not be able to stay in Australia for much longer. So, talk to me about winning that title and almost, I suppose, relieving a bit of pressure off your shoulders here.
Yeah, well, I spoke in a different interview about sort of becoming numb to the whole situation because I didn't want to I didn't want it to consume me. And I actually sort of feel like I didn't soak it up as much as I should have. Um, But listen, it's just one of them things. Like it's a moment, it's a memory you'll take to the grave with you. And yeah, you can talk about pressure and you can talk about pressure and everything like that. But yeah, I just enjoyed it, and I'm just looking forward to collecting more titles. So
Mate, for yourself, obviously, back in camp fight coming up in just a few weeks away now in Liverpool. Again, talking about the pushing each other on, the advice you get from Sam, Ed, your dad. You're a very close-knit family, although other sides of the world and different parts of the world, you're still very, very close and tight-knit. What's that like during camp when you're going through potentially some hard, tough stages?
Do you know what? I'm in Liverpool, Sam's in Australia, and our family's in the Isle of Man. But I actually find it easier and prefer being here and doing a training camp because I feel like there's less distractions, if you know what I mean. I went home the other weekend and first thing in the food cupboard, chocolate biscuits and everything, you're just thinking, oh no, do you know what I mean? It's just a nightmare. But my dad's always ringing me. There's always, they wanting updates and how everything's going and how sparring going, always like asking the normal questions. My dad, weirdly enough, me, Ed, and Sam all box up most of our life, and my dad's never really set foot in the gym. He's always kept out of it. He's one of them where it's like it's you and your coach gives you that, you and your coach, you just do it. He's always asking questions, like how, but it's not like questions like you should be doing this, you should be doing this. It's more like like a fan, if you like. He's like, how's it going? How's training? How's sparring? Who you been sparring? Then he loves hearing all the names, of you maybe you're sparring Jack Catrell or I've done sparring with a lot of decent pros throughout my career, and he loves hearing the stories and who have been like who's been giving me advice. Like the other day, there I was in the gym. I'm actually at a new gym at Four Corners. Um, all the Smiths are there, the Smith brothers. It's a gym. It's absolutely bouncing. It's got so much potential, so much like prospects that are coming up, and so many people that are already there. The likes of Chantel Cameron, Callum Smith, and I was speaking to Callum Smith the other day on Friday, and he was giving me little tips. Uh, find like how to find the shots, and like just pass on little details, and you can't buy that type of stuff. That's like it's a bit look it's luck of the moment really. It's who you're around and being around these people and find and hear and just watching them train and then passing stuff on to you. You can't buy that experience, and then it's down to you then to try and take what they are, take it on and put that into practice. But like going back to the question with the family, we are quite a tight, especially around boxing. We are tight, and we all want to give each other advice, push each other on, be positive, and just support one another as family should.
Sam, for you, obviously, Matty mentioned there are no distractions. He's in Liverpool, but Matty can just nip home for the weekend like he did recently. Yourself, other side of the world, that is now your new home. Do you still feel like you're away from distraction, or do you still potentially have those distractions around you because that is where you are residing?
I actually think there's so many distractions where I am. Truthfully, it's such a lovely place to live with beaches and there's parties on all the time and all my friends, outside of the boxing gym, they're always up for a good laugh and a good party and a good, what can we get up to? What trouble can we get up to? And obviously like with the beaches and there's so many fun, but all these things as well, you can get hurt doing half the things that we do. So there's plenty of distractions, but truthfully, I'm a creature of habit, me. So once I'm in a routine and I'm just training and I've got a goal, I'm not really, and I've never really, all three of us have never really been big drinkers or anything. Or me personally, I've never been much of a big eater. Matty likes his chocolate biscuits and stuff, but I've never really been much of a big eater anyway. So, the distractions are easy enough to cancel out and then just focus on the boxing and the training. And I like that. I like getting into a routine and it's just the same thing for 10 weeks straight.
Matty, for you, was it weird when Sam moved out to Australia, obviously other side of the world, when you have grown up, training together from the living room to the gym, and now other side of the world? Was it a bit strange for you to?
Well, I lived in Liverpool before he moved, so I was already quite. I wouldn't say this at the norm, but it was getting normal to be away from my family. And then when Sam moved, I suppose it's a bit strange. It was a quick that Sam made quite a quick decision. It was like, just I'm off, gonna just go try something new. But at the time, it wasn't anything to do with boxing either. It was just going for the experience. And then I think as he spent longer there, and I think he ended up getting into a gym, and then it just led for one. I think the gym obviously seen him, seen his potential and whatnot, and I think it just went from like when you go on a spontaneous trip and it turns out becoming bigger and bigger and bigger and better and better and better. I think it was one of them from where he's gone out just for a little experience, didn't know whether he was going to be staying there or coming back, and then I think what three going on to 4 years down the line or 3 years down the line, he's 4-0 with a WBC title. So it's mad how things can turn out, but as I said, it's not exactly not too strange for me, but it's just good to see him doing well. To be honest, actually, that's the main thing. I'm just happy for him. He's in there. See, funny enough, when I was back home on the weekend, a few people were asking, questions like, "Oh, Sam's doing well and whatnot," and you're doing well too. And this is no disrespect to everyone back in the Island, but see if Sam was to fight tomorrow and he got beat, he's still in Australia in an amazing place with amazing people. Boxing isn't the end of all and be all, do you know what I mean? But he's doing well with that. He's doing well with boxing at the minute, and I hope it carries on for the future too. But either way, Sam's winning in life anyway because he's in Australia, living his best life, good people, good weather. You know, I'm sat in Liverpool right now, it's pissing down. So he's already winning in life for me anyway.
Obviously, I know you two have been had a bit of banter on this call already, but on a serious note, Matt, obviously you mentioned Sam's title win out in Australia, traveling, whatever else. Are you proud of Sam?
Yeah, 100%. Not just for the boxing, from where he's came from, he was in a bad place when he was back home in the Isle of Man. Um, I'd be proud of Sam if he fucking made a cheese sandwich. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, oh, it sounds so stupid, but like, you're proud of your brothers, aren't you? You're all, like, no matter all your family, you're backing them all the time. But he was in a bad place at one point in his life. He's went on to do well, and I, I think not just me, the whole family are proud of him. And I said I hope that it can continue. Sorry, and collect more titles. Um, and maybe, and I think he knows the road's going to get tougher. The opposition's going to get tougher. He's going to get better as it gets tougher too. He's going to be learning more and more in terms of in the ring and out the ring. And Sam's not stupid. He knows where he's at this point. He's performing well. He's doing. He can only beat who's in front of you, and he's doing everything that he's needed off him. And as the opponents step up, I'm sure Sam will step up to that level too as well. And yeah, if it doesn't matter if he loses, win, draws, the family are always going to be backing him, always going to be proud of him. Same with me when I got beat. First people on your phone, I've had 15 wins, and then the day you get beat, you're thinking, I wonder, what are people going to still support me? And the first four messages, your brother, your mum, your dad, and your girlfriend or whatever. Do you know what I mean? The people who are really close to you.
No, definitely. Sam, let's just talk about Matty, and also you mentioned there the lost English title, Sean Noakes, that's on the big stage as well. Sam, are you proud of how Matty's sort of responded to that defeat and picked himself back up again, got a win, back in camp again, and how he sort of handled himself in that? Because I suppose in boxing, you take a loss, there's the whole Mayweather effect. You've got to protect your eye, you've got to be undefeated to, get anywhere in sort of your career. But that's not true. And, Matty's bounced back from that and bouncing back. Are you proud of Matty there, Sam?
Yeah, definitely. Even going way further back, even back to his amateur days, like done so much for the island and done so much in Manx boxing, and I was always growing up, no matter where I went, like on the island, I'd always bump into someone that would say, how good's Matty doing? How good's your brother doing? And yeah, even you talk about the loss, like the Mayweather days are done and truly done and dusted. We're back to the Hagler Hearns and Duran days now and Sugar Ray Leonard days where people just want to see good fights. And I think Matty is more than capable of being right up there with the top welterweights or super welterweights in Britain. I think, John, I think it's just a matter of time before he gets a big shot. And I know he got the big. I think his first big shot was Moorcroft, which he boxed absolutely beautifully. That was a big moment for him. And then I felt like he was a bit avoided since then. He got the call up for the Noakes fight, which Noakes has won since then. And we all know Sean Noakes is going to go on to do great things. And I actually think, on a different day, I think Matty could beat Sean Noakes. I think we just didn't get the best version of Matty. He stepped in. He got a second win like a round too late. I think. I think he got off the first three rounds and then just got into that fourth gear one round too late. And I definitely think on another day, he could turn Sean Noakes over. And I think majority of British lads in that welterweight or super welterweight division. I think my brother beats. I think he's one of the most technically gifted boxers in Britain. And when it comes to power, he's got one stoppage on his record, but he hits a lot harder than his record suggests. You know what I mean? Especially when these lads now, obviously fighting journeymen, the scene when you come up and they just tuck in and they try and see out the rounds. When you got lads that are trying to beat you and they're coming at you, you'll stop them. And Matty's power was showing that. And I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to when he gets his first call up any title fight. I think he's ready for the phone call now. I think he's just itching to get that big fight and show that he belongs on the world stage, which I know he's only 26 as well. I think it's his birthday coming up soon, but he's 26 years old. He's still young. Like he's not even in the prime of his life. So when he gets these big fights, I think he's more than ready for them, and I think he's more than capable of beating all of these British prospects, all of them.
Absolutely. Just finally, last question. We spoke briefly about this, Sam, last time I spoke to you. So I'll put the question to both of you. First of all, with Matty, two of you on the same bill on the islands. Is that something that you two Not desperate for, but is that something that you'd both like to tick off the box?
Yeah, 100%. I think it would be massive for the Isle of Man. There's a couple of pros on the island now as well. There's another lad and another and a girl. There's two amateur gyms on the island too. So it's definitely doable. 100% doable. They have, I know Sam stated this before, but they have one of the deadly rate or the deadliest race in the world in the Isle of Man at TT. So if they can have that on the island, I'm sure they can have professional boxing on the island. There's a great venue for it. I think there'd be a great build up for it. I think the island would get fully behind it. I think it's just a case of getting the right people in the circle, um, who want it just as much as we want it. Getting like maybe like a few sponsors to sponsor the show and whatnot. There'd be a few strings to pull, but it's doable. I think that's the main word. It is definitely doable. It's just getting the right crowd to come together and go, right, yeah, let's get this on. I think as well, if me and Sam both have a title, it makes it a bit more like it's easier to get that backing, if you like. Obviously, I don't really need to answer for me and Sam in terms of we would like to fight there. Of course, we would. Anyone from there would like anyone from their hometown would love to fight in their hometown. But I think it would just be massive, not even just for the island. I think in British boxing because it'd be something new. It'd be. I think they did try in COVID times. Eddie Hearn tried to get Anthony Joshua to fight Pulev in the Isle, man, believe it or not. Or it might have been a different fight, and he went to Gibraltar. It might have been Dillian White. I can't fully remember against Povetkin, I think before. So it was one or the other. The Isle Man government turned it down for one reason. I think that was more to do with COVID at the time. Didn't want people coming to the island and spreading it. But they have had talks before, and I do know what the obstacles are to overcome. But you can overcome them. It's not like you're hitting brick walls. You can overcome them. It's just, as I said, it's getting the right circle of people to do it. And I think it would be an amazing night.
Sam, for you, obviously fighting in Iron Man with your brother Matty on the bill as well. How much would that mean to you?
Yeah, definitely. It's something we spoke about for years. We used to joke about it years ago, but now that it's actually doable, it's it's something that excites me. But even if it's not in the Isle of Man, even if we could just get it done in Liverpool, that's like Matty's adopted home at the minute, and it's only across the pond, a 15-minute flight or a 4 hour on the boat. So if we can't get on the Isle of Man, at least get it in Liverpool. But I think the last time we shared a bill was in the amateur days. I think it was back in Matty might correct me, but I was about 15 years old. I think Matty was about 18. It was Matty's first fight without the headgear on. And he beat a lad that's now signed with Frank Warren. So that shows where Matty's level is. And yeah, that was the last time. That's what I'm 23 now and I was 15. So 8 years or something. That's a long time to go without boxing on your brother's bill. So yeah, we joked about it as kids, and then the jokes turned serious, and it's something we'd love to do. But yeah, I'm itching to fight over that side of the world again. I've not seen my friends and family in a while now, and to be able to box in front of them would be amazing. And like I say, box on the same brother's bill, put some titles on the line, throw some cash our way. We're not boxing for free, and my promoter Tony told you he's a good man and he's always got my best interests. And I've already spoke to him about boxing over in the UK and boxing on my brother's bill, and he's more than happy to try and make it happen for me. So yeah, ideally the Isle of Man, but if not, we'll get it in Liverpool.
No, absolutely. Well, boys, I want to thank you both for your time. Really appreciate it. Obviously, best of luck for both your fights coming up very soon as well.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Um,
Thank you for having me as well.
No drama at all. Thanks so much, boys.
Cheers,
A
James. Thank
nice
you.
one.